Alright, welcome back everybody. Today we are going to make a pen holder. So this is an object that you can put on your desk, put your pens, pencils, any kind of that stuff in it. Just kind of a fun project, kind of get you to wrap your head around creating holes with different shapes and then kind of putting everything together. So this is what we're going to go for our overall design. Obviously the name of the project will be right up here. So what we're going to do first is we are going to delete that one out of there because we are going to make a brand new one. This one's actually really easy. We're only going to use a total of 2 shapes. We're going to grab the box shape first. We're going to go ahead and get that, bring that out here, and then we're going to resize it. So to resize it, again, you can click on one of these corners, and you can click on it, and we're actually going to make this one 60 by 60 by 2. So 60 on the X and Y, and then 2 on the Z axis. So this is what we're going to want it to look like when we're done. So we're going to go ahead and move that out of the way. We're going to come back to that here in a minute. The next shape that we're going to go after is we need to go find a shape called a Voronoi. It kind of looks like a tile, but we need to go down this shape generator's featured area. It's on page 1, towards the bottom. It's this shape right here. It kind of looks like a tile, like I said. We're gonna get this one. We're gonna bring that out. This is the one where this is where we're gonna make it really unique to your project. So what we need to do first is we need to change the overall size of the tile. So right now it's at 20. You have a couple different ways you can do this. You can either use the slider here and try and get it to 54, or you can click over here and actually just type in 54, and it will resize the tile for you. Okay, and then the next thing we need to do is we need to increase the spacing that is here, separating all these segments of this tile. So here we want to take this cell spacing to 2. So again, you can click on it, type it in, hit enter, and you'll see that that gap gets a lot bigger. The reason why we need to do that is because we're actually going to turn this into a hole at some point and cut it out of the squares. So you don't have the same shape on all sides. You have this randomizer right here. You can take this and see how it's changing the shape. Kind of fun. You can also change the number of cells, and it will give you a lot more. If you go too high with it, you get these weird lines that kick out. So we don't want to do that. Try and stay underneath 100, and it shouldn't do that to you. We're going to try and stay right around 50. So let's type in 50 here. Once we get that done, it will pop up, and I think it'll look pretty cool. You can do it with more, you can do it with less. It's completely your call, as long as you have the size at 54 and the cell spacing at 2. Okay. Alright, so now that we have that done, we're going to take that and we're going to duplicate it. So you can go up here, click duplicate. I'm going to click and drag. I'm going to bring that down. And then I'm going to hit duplicate again. It'll auto drop. I need to zoom out because it'll do it one more time. And then we're going to take that one. Make sure you click on it. We're going to take this one. We're going to randomize it. That way we don't get any 2 shapes that are the same. So we're going to do the same thing to this one. Let's go random this way. And we'll do one more on this one. There you go. So all of these should look different enough to where it won't look like you have 2 of the same sides on your project. Alright, so what we're going to do now is we're going to take this this box and we're going to duplicate that as well. This one we need to come up with 5 because we're going to leave one solid box and then cut out the rest of them. The reason why we're going to leave one solid box is because we need to have a bottom, right? So we're going to take that. I'm going to change that color just so I remember which one's going to be the bottom. The rest of these, we're actually going to place these together and cut it out. To do that, we want to click on it. We're going to click hole. So it went from this orange color to this gray shadowed area. that means that it is a hole. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight these two. I'm going to use the align tool to make sure that they're nice and centered this way and this way. Puts it right in the middle, which is great. That's what we want. And then I'm going to group it together, and it will actually cut it out. So if I zoom in on that one, you can see how it cut out all those little chunks of the tile. So now we need to do the same thing for the rest of them. So another way that you can do it, instead of doing that red box like that to select both objects, you can click one, hold shift, and then click on the other, and it will select them as well. We want to go through and center them, and then group them. So I'm going to go ahead and do that on these next two. And then what we will do from there is we'll go through and I will show you how to get those boxes up on their sides and connected to the base and to each other. That way it creates a nice seamless box. So once I am done here, we will rotate all of them and then start putting them together on the box. So now that we have all of those cut out, we're going to take the bottom of our box, bring that back into play here. Let's take this top tile first. We're going to rotate it. Remember the shortcut, if you hold shift when you rotate, you can jump to 90 degrees, which is what we want. We're going to take two of them and rotate them to 90 degrees this way. That will be this side and this side. Then I'm going to rotate my camera just to make it a little bit easier. And then I will do the same thing, but I'm going to rotate these ones the opposite direction of how I rotated these two. The reason why I'm going to do that is because that's going to become the front and the back. Okay, so now you guys can see how they're like halfway down on the work plane. We want to click the D button, and that will pop them up onto the work plane. So just by pushing that D button on your keyboard, it brings them up onto the work plane like that. Okay. So now the easiest thing that I have found to align these is, again, hold that shift button, select both of them. This is where we're going to use that align tool. We're going to go through, we're going to center them. Okay. That way they're nice and in line with each other this way. And then I'm actually going to click on the furthest edge, and that will bring it all the way over. Okay, we're going to group these walls one at a time. That way we can continue to move it around as a unit. So I'm going to go ahead and group that. It's going to change the color. That's how you know that it's grouped. So from here, we're going to hold shift again, select the opposite wall, hit that align tool, center it, and then hit that far side so it aligns. Then we will group, and then just continue to repeat that process. Really simple. Just continue to repeat it until you have all four sides done. Once you have that done, your box will be completed, which is what we're going for. So once that is done, like that, you have your pen holder right there. Let's go ahead and zoom in on that so we can really kind of see how cool that looks. I think it looks kind of cool. Kind of looks like a spider's web to me. But that is your pen holder. We can print these out. They take about 2 to 3 hours to print. So what we can do is we can print those out at some point to where they can be printing overnight. All right. All right. Well, hopefully you learned a little bit more on how to create holes into an object, and then how to use that align tool a little bit better. Go ahead, mess around with it, have fun. Remember, you are always more than welcome to change the color. Again, try and use this custom color and come up with some crazy color values. See what kind of crazy colors you can come up with. Just because you never know, I might try and steal your color to use it on a future project. Alright, go ahead and give it a shot and have fun.